Captain Vrel of the Galactic Alliance Training Academy paced nervously outside the simulation chamber. His four eyes blinked in rapid sequence, a sure sign of distress among the Navari. The blue-scaled instructor checked his datapad for the fifth time in as many minutes. "Sir, he's still going," reported Lieutenant Taub, mandibles clicking with concern. "Hugh Cadet Jones has been in the Krivek warrior simulation for 6 hours now." Vrel's tail whipped anxiously. This was supposed to be a cultural exchange, not a... He stopped mid-sentence as the simulation chamber's status light changed from red to green. "It's over. Prepare the medical team." The doors slid open with a hiss, and to the astonishment of the gathered alien officers, Cadet Tom Jones walked out unassisted. His uniform was torn and stained with sweat, but the human himself appeared remarkably intact. He was drinking water from a container and breathing heavily but smiling. "That," Jones said, wiping his mouth, "was incredible." The Krivik Exchange Program had been the Alliance's newest initiative, a week-long immersion in the warrior cultures of various member species. Most cadets spent their rotations studying artifacts, observing ceremonies, or at most participating in highly regulated ritual combats. No one had ever actually completed the Krivek trial sequence. At least, no non-Krivak had done so until now. "Human Jones," Captain Vrel said carefully, "the simulation was designed to end once the participant yielded or was rendered incapable of continuing." Jones shrugged. "I didn't yield." "The simulation was set to Krivak difficulty," Lieutenant Taub added. "Full sensory feedback, real pain thresholds." "Yeah, I gathered that around hour 3, Jones laughed. The medical officer, Dr. Plex, was scanning Jones with increasing confusion. "Captain, I'm detecting elevated endorphin levels, muscle microtears consistent with extreme exertion, and minor contusions, but he's fine. Physiologically, he's experiencing what humans call a runner's high." The news spread quickly through the academy. By the next morning, the Krivik themselves had sent a delegation. Their lead warrior, Grux, was easily twice Jones' size, with obsidian plates covering most of his body and ritual scars, decorating what little skin remained visible. "We wish to observe the human," Grux announced in the Academy's meeting hall, where staff and cadets had gathered. "Our records indicate no species has completed the trial of 7 sorrows without intensive genetic modification or cybernetic enhancement." Jones, seemingly unaware of the gravity of the situation, sat casually at a table with his fellow human cadets. He was devouring a breakfast that could have fed 3 normal cadets. "The human has no modifications," Captain Vrel confirmed. "His species classification as Deathworlders refers only to their homeworld's high gravity and extreme environmental variations." Grux approached Jones and inspected him with unmistakable curiosity. "He fought for 6 hours," the Krivek warrior stated, "through pain, exhaustion, and hallucination." Jones swallowed his food. "Well, I figured that was the point, sir. The briefing said the Krivik value perseverance." The briefing, Captain Vrel interjected, also stated that cultural understanding was the goal, not completion of the trial. "I understood the culture better by participating," Jones replied with simple logic. "It made sense once I was in it. The 7 trials represent different challenges your ancestors faced, right?" He turned to Grux. "The acid rain, the predator beasts, the starvation winter. Their historical trials made symbolic." Grux's usually impassive face showed the first signs of surprise. "You discerned this during combat?" "Well, yeah. Between rounds, I had time to think. Each challenge got worse, but more meaningful. I started to feel connected to something bigger than myself. That's what your warrior culture is about, isn't it? Connecting to your ancestors through shared suffering." The Krivek delegation exchanged looks of astonishment. Admiral Dor, the Academy's commander, had been observing silently. Now she stepped forward. "Cadet Jones, were you aware that the final trial includes actual biochemical elements designed to trigger fear responses in Krivak physiology? Their warriors trained from birth to resist these effects." Jones blinked. "Oh, is that why everything went all weird and scary at the end? I just figured it was exhaustion playing tricks on my mind." He scratched his head. "I just kept telling myself it wasn't real, or if it was real, it would pass." Dr. Plex cleared his throat. Humans have an unusual psychochemical resilience. Their species evolved with greater neuroplasticity, possibly as an adaptation to their diverse environment. Additionally, they produce several stress hormones that paradoxically can enhance performance temporarily. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Academy. Training protocols were revised overnight. Human cadets were reassigned to more challenging regimens. The Krivik, impressed rather than offended, requested a formal alliance with Earth specifically. Captain Vrel found Jones in the training yard a week later, now leading a mixed-species group through physical exercises. Cadet Jones, Vrel said, "I must ask, weren't you afraid during the trial?" Jones paused, considering the question seriously. "I was terrified, sir. But humans have an old saying, courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. And this is common among humans. More or less, our history is full of people who kept going when logic said to stop. It's not always smart, but it's very human." Captain Vrel updated his training manual that evening, adding a special notation beside the human species classification. It read simply, "Warning. Standard endurance metrics do not apply. Psychological barriers may be interpreted as challenges rather than deterrents. Recommend adjusted protocols for all human cadets." When the next term began, the Academy's application process included a new question for non-human instructors. Have you previously supervised human cadets? If not, mandatory orientation required. The Galactic Alliance had encountered many species in its long history, but humans had managed to surprise them in a way no one had anticipated. Not with technology or numbers, but with the simple, stubborn refusal to accept limitations that others took for granted. And somewhere in the vast database of the Academy, Jones' simulation record remained unbroken.